Alright, let's talk about Bitcoin. It's been quite some time since we spoke about it, so in this video we're going to cover everything we need to know about its price and what levels we need to watch. Now, as you would know, the markets have been trolling our analysis for about the past couple of weeks. It's been like anything would be in a black hole, basically a singularity. It's been really tough to predict where Bitcoin is going to go. But things appear to be getting better, so let's talk about that here. In my last update, I told you that Bitcoin was holding this level right here, which was 111. And if that level broke, I would like to see how it interacts with this level down here at 106. Now, that was actually the lowest I could see for BTC. But as you would know, the markets have been trolling us. And so we'd get random wicks to the downside right here. Now, we are back to the same level that I told you that Bitcoin was holding. And so this is therefore the resistance. To the upside, the next level is between 120.4 to 121.3. We will need a full daily candle close above 111.5 to confirm this target. But as we mentioned, we are still at a resistance right here, so we might as well make some type of retracement before making that move. However, this is just the resistance zone that with a daily candle close above it, we will be headed for 120.4 to 121.3. That will most likely not be the maximum, however. As you can see, that thing can go even as high as 133. But this zone will most likely cause some type of retracement. So you could get something like this and then another move to the upside. But again, we are still at resistance, so we will update on that later. To the downside, however, because that's what you'd probably be asking here, how low can it go? Yeah, because I see some posts online of people saying that it's going to go even lower than this previous low right here. But do we have any analysis to suggest that it can go lower than that? We do not. Now, just looking at Bitcoin's chart, it's pretty difficult to suggest where this thing is going to go. That's to the downside. To the upside, it's somewhat clear, yeah? So if we put this in a line chart like so, you'd see that there is some hidden inverted head and shoulders right here. So when I take all of those drawings out, you'll see the inverted head and shoulders. However, inverted head and shoulders means that there is a chance that we come back for some type of retracement of the second shoulder right here. We could go somewhat below it, or we could go just half. So you could see a retracement here and then another move to the upside like so. However, if we do close that daily candle above the resistance point here at about 111.5, we will most likely just be headed up from there. To the downside, as we've said, it's difficult to know from this chart, but when we look at USDT dominance, it's much clearer. So with USDT dominance, of course, you'd expect the opposite for BTC, yeah? So BTC was just like this. Yeah, this is the inverted chart for USDT dominance, and it looks exactly like BTC. But the regular chart is like this, and with the regular chart, we see the head and shoulders. Now, what's interesting about this is that, as you would know, Fibonacci requires proving the highs and lows in order to make some sort of prediction. So if we want to know where price is going to go here, we must be able to prove why it went up here in the first place. That's basically how Fibonacci works. You can't say that it's going to go up here without knowing why it came down here. You must be able to prove why it came down here in order for you to say where it's going to go next. So for us to project this thing to the downside, we must be able to prove this high right here. And can we do that? Yes, we can. So when we apply our technique here, we see that USDT dominance topped out at a 2.618 right here, which is actually where we'd suggest that its top should be in the event of a move to the upside. After that high, we'd expect it to come back to the 1618, and then after some type of retracement, we'd expect it to come even as low as the 786. So that would be what we'd expect right here. A move to this low right here at the 786 will coincide with BTC going up to that 120 to 121k zone. So you see that it's the same, yes? So if we invert the BTC chart here, you will see it as we see USDT dominance. So for now, since BTC is at, that's BTC at resistance, USDT dominance is at support, as we've seen already. So it's currently at support right here. Even just with a trend line, you can see that it's just holding that support. On the line chart, USDT dominance is showing us the clear head and shoulders pattern right there. We break this daily candle close and we will most likely end up down here. So that's pretty much it for BTC zoomed in. Yeah, that's the intraday analysis. How about the zoomed out view? Like, where are we actually going eventually from the broader picture? Yeah. So for that, we need to go back to the weekly time frame and see where we are in time. So this is my BTC macro analysis, and we've already explained this time and time again, yeah? So the idea goes like so. We come to 786 right here, have some resistance, go to 1.618. After 1.618, we are coming back to 786. We've already explained why we did not go really as low as the 786 right here at 45k. After that, we expect a weekly candle close above the 1618, which is what we had right here. And after that, after the weekly candle close, which is the confirmation, we need to go to the 2618. After 2618, we are coming back to retrace the 1618, and after 1618, we've also explained why we did not go to the exact figure right here. After that, we expect a weekly candle close at the 2.618 or above the 2.618, which is what we got right here with the bullish engulfing pattern right here. And now we are using the 2.618 as support. We do not want BTC to close up to 2 weekly candles below this 2.618 right here at about 105, excuse me. So 105.271, we don't want BTC to close up to 2 weekly candles below that, because that will be a bearish sign. Yeah, it will be a bearish sign, meaning that this thing could go even far lower than that. So we don't want to see that. Currently, we are holding it as a support. It's 1 day left for us to confirm a bullish engulfing pattern right here, and that actually, from this macro picture, we'd be expecting that this thing goes even as high as the 4618 right here, which will be 170 to 175. So for now, on this macro picture, we are still looking at this target. So we are still expecting that this thing goes as high as this. We have not breached any sort of support here to say that we are no longer going up there, that it's no longer going to happen. We have not, had any bad signs right here. So that's pretty much it for the macro picture. We are still expecting that this thing goes even as high as 170 to 175. The minimum will actually be somewhere around 154 before we can start to see if this thing has actually ended, or from there we'll make some other update. But for now, we are still on track for this. So that's pretty much it for the update, folks. In the next video, we'll be looking at Ethereum, and in the one after that, we'll be looking at Bitcoin dominance to see how close we are to the alt season. But until then, stay safe.